Hey guys, we are back with another episode of The Purple Show with me, Mackers, Ben, and Tom. How you boys doing today?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, doing well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Glad to be back doing another Purple Show. Sorry we didn't do one last week, but that was because we were recording something in Swansea for the Mackers channel, which will be coming soon. My old channel, if anyone wants to check that out. To start with, we will be talking World Cup, obviously. We're just going to touch on the Ronaldo situation because obviously we didn't do it last week. What is your view on it, Tom, as a whole?
Okay, so obviously it's sort of worked out for both sides in that they've got what they want. The Man United board and sort of senior management have been wanting Ronaldo out for a while. Ronaldo's obviously wanted out based on his sort of attitude off the pitch and on it. I mean, the Piers Morgan interview was just sort of crazy. If you're a footballer at that club, you shouldn't really be doing it. No matter how entertaining it is to us as fans, rather. You can't really get away with that if you want to actually play for the club again. So all in all, it's worked out. Man U have terminated his contract. They've probably not had to pay him very much because of what he's done. So in my eyes, it's a strange one, but it's almost a win-win for both parties. Ben, I don't know what you think about it.
I just think that he felt that his legacy was being tarnished. So he's gone, what can I do? Oh, I'll do an interview. And he's lashed out at everyone, thrown everyone under the bus and got what he wanted and got what the point of the interview was to get out. And that's basically what has happened. It's basically the fault of, he's blaming them, they're blaming him, blah, blah. But the fault is basically with both of them. Is because one, United should have let him go in the summer, but didn't. And two, him and his agent should have found a solution for him in the summer, but they didn't. So, it's both the faults really. And inevitably this is what's happened because it was bound to happen even before the interview, but the interview just basically confirmed it, that it was going to happen like this way. So, yeah.
Actually, I have to ask, Mackers, it's been rumoured that Ronaldo might potentially go to Chelsea. I mean, you're a Chelsea fan. Well, would you take him?
Yeah, no, I was literally about to touch on that because I was like, this is the perfect time for me to be a Chelsea fan in terms of talking about it. I don't think it's the best idea, and it doesn't follow what Todd Bowley's done initially. I mean, it does to an extent because yes, we brought in Aubameyang.
But wasn't it like that? There was a thing that went round, and
I know the Tuchel situation where Tuchel said
Bowley wanted him, and Tuchel said no, and that was the catalyst for them falling out.
I doubt that was the catalyst. I bet that was just part of the picture.
That soured the relationship. Yeah. Obviously, it was already on the edge, but Todd Bowley going, "Oh, what do you reckon to Ronaldo?" And Tuchel going, "No," and Todd Bowley going, "Why?" That was obviously going to cause some.
The thing with that situation was Tuchel said no, Todd Bowley said why, and then Tuchel just said because I said so.
Yeah.
So that was where that situation fell apart. I don't know if I do just because, he scored today, but I mean Portugal were lucky to not draw that when Williams bloody nipped the ball out from the keeper right at the end. That was almost like amazing, but unfortunately he didn't score. But and also the Ghana guy scores the second goal.
Oh my god, I saw that. Yeah, that was brilliant, brilliant. And then the camera immediately pans to Ronaldo looking so annoyed. It was perfect.
Oh, so good. I love that. Brilliant. It's just like they're losing, doesn't matter.
Wow.
I'm in front of the whole world.
Any other team in the world sprint to pick up the ball, take it back to kickoff. Ghana, he's seen Ronaldo on the bench. Is a bit annoyed. Pulls out this. Oh, amazing! Literally,
absolutely brilliant. I love
that.
But
hang on, let's not.
He's like, no. Still going to pull it out.
Genuine. But let's not forget that Ronaldo dropped an absolute stinker in the first half. Like 2 or 3 chances he had that he was just so. I mean, okay, he put the one away that probably shouldn't have been disallowed for the foul. That was a good finish, but some of his touches, that header he went up for, should have been a goal. He's not the same Ronaldo he was. So, I mean, that's where the dilemma comes for you, I guess, as a Chelsea fan. Yeah. Would you want him?
Yeah. I personally know, but I'm sure there's plenty of Chelsea fans out there that would. And I can also see Also, if he comes, I'm going to back him. Back him, of course. It's just, in my opinion, I don't think he would be good for us, as Chelsea is such a. The way we work is because there's so many mates in the team, if that makes sense. Everyone's friends in a certain extent. If you put in Ronaldo there, there's no who's our best player, our fullback. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we haven't got like a star ego to ego striker or attacking player to an extent.
I mean, I think that's your team's still filled with egos, but they're
Yes,
just not good enough to warrant being the main man. Like
yes.
you're telling me that Kai Havertz doesn't have an ego, Mason
Oh
Mount
no,
doesn't
100%,
have an ego.
100%.
Arteta might have something to say about Aubameyang's ego.
Yeah, true. But Aubameyang's brought in for a different reason. He was just brought in because we didn't get Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But enough about Ronaldo. We've spoken about him for a few minutes now. On to the big subject. Today, when we're recording this, obviously tomorrow this will come out just before the England USA game. It's the World Cup, boys. It's the World Cup. The World Cup that no one really spoke about beforehand, apart from in a negative way. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, still only talking about it in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every single build up to the game is just why
it's understandable. Like, but I think obviously they've got all the issue. There's loads of controversies, loads of issues, but the fundamental the before it even like as soon as it got it, there was a sour taste in the mouth. Because the fundamental thing is it shouldn't have it in the first place, because 11 of the officials that awarded Qatar this World Cup have either been arrested, jailed, or have allegations against them for corruption. So it's even before, regardless of all the other controversies and the rights issues, all that, they shouldn't have it in the first place. So it's just that's the fundamental thing. Like, even regardless of anything, like right at the start, they shouldn't have it like that. So that vote shouldn't have happened, or it should have been done again.
Well,
So,
I think, Ben, you're spot on, and I think the problem is as well that we've had 10 years to sort this out. Like this isn't something that just crept up. But this isn't something that just crept up on us. We had ages to oppose this and come up with sanctions and what have you. Like we've had a long time, and all of a sudden it's just like everybody's ignored it. Nobody's really talked about it. We're here, we're getting paid by them, and now we're complaining. It doesn't sit well. And obviously all of the human rights issues are atrocious, and all of the stuff with the LGBTQ plus stuff is obviously horrible, and not wearing the One Love armband isn't great. But I just think that we've heard a lot about it and not very much about how good some of the football has been, because it has, especially the underdogs winning a lot at the moment, as Max, I'm sure you'll touch on in a minute. I think that has to be that's got to be our focus, I think, because there's been too much touched on that.
It's like you say, they had plenty of time to deal with it, and it was the same with the Russia World Cup, where they did nothing about that either. And so obviously it comes down to money. Someone behind the scenes has done the calculations, it's going to cost more money to change this than to just leave it as it is for FIFA. So money decides again.
Yeah.
So
as we are all very aware with football, I do want to continue the controversy into the first game of the World Cup. With the first goal, it was eventually Qatar 0, Ecuador 2. But at the end of the day, the correct decision was made for the offside for the goal that was disallowed. But how the hell did they got there? No one really knows. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, mate. Sorry. No, go. Ben, you go first, Ben. If you've got something prudent to add, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I can do. I didn't. Why did my face look like it or something?
No, I thought Mackers was ushering you on. I thought.
All right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like you say, the right decision was made in the end, but again, the communication wasn't there. We've said it all before. The transparency wasn't there. But there has been a few. I mean, obviously that was the correct decision, but there has been a few, questionable decisions going on at this World Cup, like the penalty that Iran got against England. I'm like, what? what? Like ridiculous. Like, and obviously, was it Maguire? That wasn't given as penalty, and it was like the same thing or worse. You know, stuff like that. And obviously, you're always going to inconsistencies where there's humans, there's going to be human error, blah 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 blah. But you know, there's some things that like that, and you're like, something fishy going on. Something else is going on here.
That was definitely the case with the Qatar game, because I know Twitter went absolutely ballistic when that first one was called offside. And I remember seeing even at the time when I was watching it, I was like, how the hell is this offside? This is bonkers. This is ridiculous. This is Qatar money. But Tom, it seems like you had something to say on that as well.
What I was going to say, mate, I drew Ecuador as my in the sweepstakes at work, so my head was gone. I was holding the TV and everything. Genuinely, I was
getting ready.
Straight on Twitter in my 3 separate sub accounts I have just to chat shit about the FA. My head was gone. Yeah,
he was getting ready to go to Qatar to protest.
100%. 100%. I was like, get the next plane ticket out there just so I can go to Europe and not get entry immediately into the stadium. Which we won't touch on that either, because that's been covered numerous occasions. But
you know, there's one thing after another, isn't there? And then obviously they're like, concentrate on the football, but they're just giving people ammunition. But you know, that's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And speaking of, I guess a good thing to an extent is the fact that I guess the Ecuadorian players weren't bribed any money because they won. So that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, but Mackers, did you actually watch that game? For them to lose that game, that would have taken the bribery would have been so obvious they would have started scoring own goals. There's no way you could win that game. Yeah,
I know. I'm taking a funny part out of a particularly not happy situation there. The next game we're going to talk about is England 6, Iran 2. Who I have got England and Iran in my sweepstake with my boys. So oh well, I got England, so I'm happy. But it's a good start from the boys. I thought the attack looked probably the best it has for a while in terms of, yes, we're playing Iran. I understand that. But it looked very good. The 4 players in attack seemed to work very well. Very high octane. But I want to talk about Jude Bellingham. How good was he in his first World Cup at 19 years old?
Yeah, I think he's coming City, so it's all good. No, he's not.
I've had Chelsea. I'm not going to lie. So you know.
I'm sorry. Let's not discount Nottingham Forest from this conversation.
Sorry. Yeah,
Wonder Kids is a match made in heaven. Jude Bellingham's he's from Birmingham, but he's actually a Forest fan at heart. And in fact, he often sings the Welsh national anthem just because Steve Cooper's from Wales. It's inside info for you, but if I was a betting man, I'd put him on.
And I know, you know, like City might offer him 200k, and Forest would offer him like 400 because that's just what they do now. So,
so we pay Jesse Lingard just over 100 grand a week, and all of a sudden get money back. That Greek betting money does not go far, and I'm telling you, our owners, Mr. Marinakis, is not going to splash out 400k a week on anybody.
Yeah, no, but I know Madrid and Liverpool are sniffing around him, but apparently City, the next position they want to strengthen is centre mid, and if Bernardo goes to Barca, which I think he might next summer, then you know it'd be a good option. But I think Madrid and Liverpool are supposed to be in the lead for him. But yeah, no, he's a fantastic player, quality player.
I must be reading some very Chelsea biased articles then, because I've heard very differently that Chelsea is definitely in the running seat. But anyway, yeah, he's a fantastic player. Tom, are you happy that he's starting?
Bellingham? 100%. But I think it's worked out nicely for him, because I don't think there's another player that's really vying for that first team spot at the moment. I think Jordan Henderson's had a terrible season. Phillips has been injured, and Conor Gallagher, in my opinion, shouldn't really be in the England squad. So it's him and Rice as the 2 centre mids, obviously because Mount's more advanced. And yeah, Bellingham's earned his position there. Despite him being only 19 years old, he's absolutely earned his position there. And you wouldn't put anybody else in that position, would you? I mean, imagine Jordan Henderson wouldn't get into that position for the header. He wouldn't dominate the game the way that Bellingham dominated. So that's the other aspect that he brings you, is his going forward.
Yeah, no, for sure. The next thing I want to talk about with England is obviously Kane didn't score, but also he probably should have come off earlier. And it seems that was more of his decision to just kind of push through the pain, because that was quite a nasty challenge they had on him. Obviously ended up in his scan. Southgate is saying that nothing's wrong with him. It was just a formality to have the scan, but obviously something must have been hurting quite a bit for him to be having that scan. The tackle happened about 15 minutes before he got taken off. So with us being, I think we were 4-0 up or something at the time, or whatever it was. Oh yeah, no, we were just bringing on the substitutes, and then he decided to keep Kane on and take Maguire off. Yes, because Maguire had the head injury, which is fair enough. But I think you should have still taken him off a bit sooner, especially as he had that knock. Tom, do you think it was the correct decision to keep him
on? Do I think it was the correct decision to keep Kane on? Well, obviously not now he's injured, but at the time, you're looking, it was purely for the golden boot, right? That's why we kept him on. There's no other reason to keep Harry Kane on the pitch for 4-0 if not for the golden boot. So, yeah, obviously not the right decision in hindsight, but if you look at it another way, and obviously I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but if Kane stays on and he doesn't get injured long term after this, doesn't need a scan, and he goes and scores a hat trick off the back of this, we're talking about not only England are in a great position to go far in the tournament, but Harry Kane could get back-to-back golden boots at World Cup, and all of a sudden he's been talked about as one of the greatest England players of all time. So it's literally two different conversations based on one tiny little difference in outcome. So it's a gamble. It didn't pay off, and with the benefit of hindsight, you should have just brought Callum Wilson on earlier.
Yeah, no, of course. The next game in our group was USA 1, Wales 1. I was watching it in London at the time with an American and a Welsh person, so that was quite funny. Not that they knew much about football, but
harsh. Personally, I wouldn't have that if I was.
I doubt they'd disagree with me. It was an entertaining game. The US certainly had a better game in the first half, and then Wales had a much better game in the second half, which I think a lot of people didn't expect, especially with America's athleticism. Most people would have thought they'd have a better second half than the first half. But obviously, the change at half-time, bringing on Kiefer Moore from Bournemouth. I think I said his name right.
Kiefer, but yeah.
Kiefer Moore, that's
Who cares? He plays football. He plays
football.
It doesn't really matter, yeah.
But obviously, Mr. Wales himself came up clutch, as he always does, won a penalty, scored the penalty, and Wales are celebrating like they've just won the World Cup. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously again for the manager with hindsight, it should have started with Kiefer Moore, because he obviously thought, I'll start with just all out pace up front, but he didn't have a target man or someone to hit, and you need in that team you need that so you can hit him, and then you got runners off him in behind and stuff like that, because he can obviously hold it up and bring players into play, give players time to make the run, stuff like that, and that obviously worked for them in the second half, but they didn't have that in the first half, which made it a lot easier for the American defenders, and it gives them something different to think about as well. Sort of just having that body who's like just causing havoc basically, and roughing him up a bit, but a bit like a classic number 9, which they went out of fashion, but they seem to be back in fashion now. So yeah.
It's nice to see him back. He's a solid player for Wales. We'll get on to the predictions that we have for the following games, because by the time the next Purple Show comes around, all the group stage games will be done. You will also be seeing our World Cup predictions as well, in terms of winners, stuff like that. So do stick around for the end for all of our predictions. The next big game, the big game that probably a lot of people are talking about, Argentina 1 to Saudi Arabia. Probably the biggest upset of this World Cup, and probably one of the biggest upsets of all time. Argentina strong favourites to win this as well. Your boy Messi, Ben, obviously did score, but didn't do much else after that. The second half from Saudi Arabia, I thought they were the better side. I'm not going to lie. They played really, really well. And actually, in the first half, Argentina were a better side. They probably should have put it to bed, but they didn't. And if you were to just watch that second half, they deserved to win that. Some good goals from Saudi Arabia as well, to be fair. Tom, what's your thoughts on this upset?
Well, do you know what? Before the tournament, people were semi-jokingly talking about Saudi Arabia as potentially one that might upset a few teams like Argentina. Obviously, nobody actually believed it would happen because it's Argentina and it's Saudi Arabia. Last time Saudi Arabia played at World Cup, they were beaten. Beaten may be too kind a word, but they were beaten by Russia 5-0 on the opening day. So if we're talking about a massive difference in quality between two sides, then it's a no-brainer that Argentina wins that game. But Saudi Arabia pre-tournament, they had something like 2 months together as a team where they played 7 friendly matches. Now, if you compare that to Argentina, they had 1 week. Obviously, with the top leagues are all still going on up to 7 days before the tournament. So Saudi Arabia, and what we've seen with a lot of the other World Cup games is that it's more about which nation it plays more like a club side, who has the most inter-team connections, and who chemistry is a FIFA term, but who has the better chemistry in their side. And Saudi Arabia, what's that, mate?
Got those green links.
Not anymore, mate. FIFA 23, there's no such thing.
No, it's 33 chem now.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. You just, it's not, you're not up to date with the FIFA logic, you know.
Clearly not. But anyway, my point was that Saudi Arabia showed that they had played together regularly and they outclassed Argentina, and that was something that not a lot of people thought would happen, and it just makes it all the better for the World Cup, I think, because realistically Argentina will probably still go through and Saudi Arabia won't. So to see an upset like that in the first game, brilliant.
It's what the World Cup's about, really, in terms of just seeing just underdogs beating some legendary players like Messi, and just giving it entertainment, because it's the one thing you generally do expect with the World Cup is entertainment, which is the main thing, obviously. Speaking of entertainment, another upset, maybe not as big, because I think a lot of people backed the team that won in this to still do all right this World Cup compared to Saudi Arabia, but Germany won, Japan 2. Another upset, as I said. Germany lacked a lot of drive and determination, I thought. Very lackluster in attack. But can't take anything away from Japan. What a result for them, Ben.
Yeah. Now they're I think Germany and Argentina might struggle now.
I think Germany will struggle a lot, especially with the next game we're going to talk about. Obviously,
I think Argentina might still get through, but they probably get knocked out around the 16 quarterfinals. I think Messi might just be like, you know what, I've won the Copa America last season. You know, I've got that international trophy that I want. You know, really wanted. Obviously, it's the World Cup, but the World Cup is hard to win. Like I think it's people underestimate how hard it is to win a knockout competition. I mean, obviously, it's not, the quality is not Champions League quality, because inevitably when you got nations, like Qatar, the quality is not going to be there. But knockout football is difficult. So he's got the international trophy, and he might retire after this. But I think they might struggle, and Germany definitely will struggle. Like say Spain on Sunday, I think they're suffering like a extended hangover from winning the World Cup in 2014 or something.
Ben, I think that might be a stretch, mate.
No, but like I'm telling you, like if you look at their form, like obviously they had the Joachim Löw or whatever who was managing them after that, but they got knocked out in 2018 in the group stage. They stunk out the gaff in a couple of the Euros. Like and then they've obviously changed manager, because the previous manager was like, you know what, I've taken it as far as I can. There's not the same determination there. They brought in Hansi Flick, and it's still not there. So I think they might be changing managers soon as well. I think they might have a look at Thomas Tuchel.
He wants the England job.
He wants the England job.
Insider information, boys.
I think Southgate might be there a bit longer, but yeah. No, I know. Obviously, like it's a long time, but psychologically, that can play a role, and a lot of that team is still there. Like well, not a lot of the team, but like psychologically it plays a part. I know it's a weird thing with football. It's like some players play good international level, and then for club level stink out the gaff. Then other players at club level, tear it up, and then for international they just can't do it. It's a weird psychological thing. It's like as soon as you get into that team, it clicks, or it just doesn't click, and it's weird. It's a weird one. But yeah, I think Argentina and Germany definitely will struggle now.
Well, obviously, in terms of the next game, Spain, 7 biggest win of the tournament so far. Obviously, we were hoping it'd be England, but Spain 7-0 Costa Rica. Didn't quite expect Spain to actually finally start scoring because that's been a big issue for them for the last few years, which is, I guess, a worrying sign. I'm not too worried yet in terms of thinking that they'll win it, but obviously they've started strong, and the only other team really, apart from us and France, who've started particularly strong. Costa Rica are an easy enough side to beat, and that's why I think Germany probably actually won't go through, because if Japan beat Costa Rica and Germany don't beat Spain, they are out. They are out of the tournament. Simple as that.
Spain are dark horses.
Spain are definitely dark horses. What do you think, Tom, on that situation?
What, Spain is dark horse or Germany?
No, just the whole of that group. The whole of that group.
Well, I think you're spot on. Japan are probably going to beat Costa Rica. If we had this conversation at work, but somebody tried to convince me that Keylor Navas and Joel Campbell meant that Costa Rica were a formidable side. It's a joke. Costa Rica are definitely the second worst team at the tournament. And yeah, it's easy for Spain to flip a run of not scoring when you can play a team that's championship level in defense, if that. So yeah, Germany are in trouble, but I can see Germany beating Spain anyway. I look at the Spain defense, and you've got Azpilicueta, you've got Rodri playing out of position. I think they can be vulnerable, and with Germany's attack, Spain will be very susceptible to any sort of creative play in front of that back four. So yeah, I can see Germany beating Spain, and then it will go down to sort of Japan winning the group, and then between Spain and Germany to see who goes through.
I like that call. I hadn't thought about that. I just don't. Having watched the Germany game, I just don't. I didn't see the Germany that kind of had that confidence that they've had in the past, where they
drive.
Yeah, they didn't have that drive at all to go to a team, go at a team like Spain, and just bully them. Because Germany used to bully sides back in the day.
Yeah. I'm telling you that they don't have. There's a hangover or something. They just don't have. After a while when you've not won something, you're like, right, this is like we're going. There's that determination and that sort of grit. It's not there.
Ben, you're talking about a hangover of 8 years. Yusufa Moukoko was.
Well, we're talking about Ronaldo's just scored at his 5th World Cup. That's longevity. That's a continuous thing through all those World Cups. It does, there's a continuous line through football, and that I mean, I know it's a long time, 8 years, but it plays a mind in psychologically that'll have an effect. It's that, and it's a weird thing because it's not like the same player. It gets passed down. It's a weird one. It's like, oh well, we've won it. You know what I mean? As a nation, like it's a weird psychological thing. It's a bit
like how Neymar's never won a World Cup, and that always hangs over him. And same with Messi, in terms of every tournament, that's all that matters for them. And you can sometimes see the pressure get to them. Would you say it's like that?
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, in a way, like sort of, yeah. So like that'll be it's about them, obviously, when they win the World Cup, but the players around them will be influenced by that as well. They've got nothing. It's nothing. It's not like the criticism or whatever. The pressure is not on them really. It's on Messi and Neymar. But those players will take that on because they want to win it for Messi or for Neymar. And it's a weird psychological thing that like I don't know what there'll be research into it, or there'll be an academic term for it. But it's like this weird thing where there's a disconnect, but they're still affected psychologically by it. I don't know quite what it is, but yeah.
Potentially, I won't discount it. So yeah, fair enough. It could well be.
Yeah. The last game I'm going to speak about is the Belgium 1, Canada 0 game. I only really want to mention it because I was shocked by how well Canada played. I remember we had a meeting yesterday during it, but I remember that first half, Canada outplayed Belgium by far. I mean, so unlucky not to be winning that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the one for me that I found the funniest was Richie Larea playing on the right wing back for Canada, because obviously he's actually a Forest player, but he's something like our 5th choice right wing back now. He's on loan in the MLS. But seeing him like absolutely bully, I can't remember. I think it was Timothy Castagna down the left hand side where he just bodied him and then like dribbled into the box, put a cross in. Just beautiful to watch, and that sort of epitomised the Canadian side as a whole. Like they were just faster, they wanted it more. The Belgian side looked so leggy, and again, this is another point that I was talking about with some people at work. But this Belgian side is exactly the same players as the Belgian side from 4 and 8 years ago, but it's not the same level of quality at all. Vertonghen and Alderweireld are not good centre backs anymore. They're not. Like they're not good enough for the Premier League. There's no way they're good enough to be playing in the same team as Kevin De Bruyne, if you're saying that Kevin De Bruyne is just like one of the good players in the Belgian side. So, I mean, Hazard as well, Lukaku's not there. If you're starting a front three of Batshuayi, Carrasco, and I can't remember who else it was. It was De Bruyne, I think, but that's not a good. No, Hazard, De Bruyne, and Batshuayi, with De Bruyne the only one there that's genuine quality. It's troubling, and I don't think you can consider Belgium a top side anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, let's get into the predictions. So 10 a.m. tomorrow UK time, Wales versus Iran. I'm going for 2-1 Wales win. Ben?
Yeah, 2-1 Wales. Gareth Bale masterclass.
Cool, good stuff. 4-1 Wales. Brennan Johnson hat-trick off the bench. Mate, he was exceptional, by the way, when he came off. He was instrumental. That throw-in was the assist of the assist.
A throw-in now.
The finesse on that throw-in, that was incredible.
A throw-in is like a pre-assist throw-in, not even the assist throw-in.
No, he threw it. I can't remember who it was, but whipped it into Bale. Bale got fouled, and then he scored. So technically, Brennan Johnson was the.
Oh, so it wasn't a pre-assist. It was. Oh yeah, I forgot it was a penalty. It wasn't a pre-assist.
It was the assist of the assist of the assist. Yeah. That is Brennan Johnson thinking outside the box and think he knows exactly what's going to happen there. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and he's going to score a hat trick.
Sorry, yeah. No, I didn't think about it.
Actually, something just in. Neymar, I think, came off a horrendous challenge on his ankle. So that could be something to keep an eye on for the future. I've just seen.
Was it 2014? 2014, he got injured in the quarterfinals. He got a back injury.
I'm looking at a picture of his ankle, and it looks like it's ankle's there, and then it's there.
Yikes! Yeah,
so that's something to keep an eye on. Next game, obviously, next game's the big one, isn't it? England versus the US. Thomas.
1-0 USA.
What?
I hate to be the person, but we just conceded 2 goals to Iran, right? We've potentially got no Kane. Kane's the focal point. He's the one that makes everything happen. This England side has not played without Harry Kane at striker in like 8 years. There's no, I can see an upset. I can. And that USA side will be so fired up, right? But let me caveat this with, if we do lose, we're done. It's now called soccer, not football. Like, we are finished if we lose to the USA.
But we cannot lose to the US.
I'm calling now 1-0 USA. That's what I'm saying.
Are you calling that in the sense of, if we lose, you can at least get a point in the predictions league?
I didn't say that.
It's like a win-lose situation.
1-0. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see. I called 3-0 leads against Chelsea, so I mean.
Yeah, you did. But I feel like that was purely just to spite me. But Anyway,
what was the final score, Mackers?
oh yeah. That was true. Ben.
2-0 England. Yeah, that's yeah. But I think like you're saying, Kane's all right, so hopefully Kane starts, so that'll be all right. Not saying USA are a good team, because in the first half against Wales they look good, but yeah, should be all right.
I'm going 4-1 to the boys, mate, for sure. Absolutely going to batter the US. That's my opinion.
I mean, I remember the last time. I think it was the last time we played him in the World Cup was 2010, and was it Robert Green let it through his legs?
Rob Green.
That was really great to watch.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I remember that.
That was back in the days of, do you remember Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey?
Yes.
Prime Landon Donovan was a baller.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I didn't have as many American friends back then, but now I've been to Camp America. If we lose to the US, God, I was there on the 4th of July. Do you want to know how many kids came up to me and went, "Well played," on the 4th of July? Come on, man. If we beat them, I'm doing the same thing. Not if, when we beat the US. Obviously, these games are next, but they are before the next Purple Show, so we will predict them on the Purple Show. Iran versus the US. Ben?
I don't know. I wasn't prepared to predict this one. We'll say 3. I thought we were only doing England and Wales games.
No, we're doing the whole group.
Okay, fair. 2-1 US.
I'm gonna go 1-0 the US.
Yeah, I'll go 1-0 US as well, and that'll mean they'll top the group.
Why? Where's the pessimism come from? Like,
yeah, why was I Ben last time and now you're Ben this time?
Boys, I'm just being realistic. This is what's happening, whether we like it or I don't like it. I don't want to call
Do
it.
you have the US in the sweepstake or something?
No, I got Ecuador. We discussed that earlier, Mackers. Come on, keep.
Yeah, but I have like 3 because there's only a few of us. So.
Yeah, no, there's like 5. There's however many teams are at the World Cup. They all got bought out at work. So yeah, I got Ecuador.
I've got England, Poland, and Iran.
Wow, there are not many of you participating in that, are there?
No, but we do have winners because we put them in different tiers. You know, tier 1's the one my England pick, tier 2's my Poland pick, tier 3's my Iran pick. It's whoever gets the furthest in tier 3 will still get some money. Tier 2 still get some money, and obviously tier 1. So that's
why didn't you just put England in tier 3, because then you're guaranteed to win money?
Because I didn't make the rules. Anyway, Wales versus England. I'm going for 1-0 to England. I think Wales are going to put up a performance. They're going to be dirty boys from the Sheeplands, but that's my prediction. Connolly?
Well, I mean, we'll want to bounce back from the 1-0 loss to the USA.
So how are we still getting through, Tom?
Well, we're getting a 3-0 against Wales, aren't we? Obviously.
Okay.
I mean, Brennan Johnson, Nico Williams, and Hennessy will save a couple penalties at least. No, okay, I'll be serious. But 3-0 England. 3-0 England. Hennessy will save 1 penalty. We'll score it on the rebound. That's my prediction. 3-0 England.
Ben?
2-0 England.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And last but not least, I'm going to ask you, do you want to do run? No, we don't need to do runners up. I think we just do the one final question to end the best podcast football show. I'm stumbling right now. Who is going to win the World Cup, Tom?
Well, this is like
the United States.
This has gone from 0 to 100. Like,
who's going to win the World Cup? Brazil still. Even if Neymar's injured, Vinicius Junior looked incredible when I was watching him earlier. He looked insane, and it's not like they've got terrible players off the bench, is it? Neymar, the talisman, is out, but that could like inadvertently help them. I'm going Brazil still.
Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking like Brazil because the other challenges. I mean, France will have something to say about it. Yeah, I mean, maybe Spain. I mean, even England. But I think I remember doing the when you do like the predictions, like where people come in the groups and then the knockout stage like a few months ago. And I think if results go the way I think we'll go, I think we'll get France in the quarters. So that'll be tough. But yeah, no, it's looking like Brazil, isn't it? So yeah.
Mackers?
All right, and my prediction, just before we end the podcast, I'm backing the team I got in the sweepstake all the way through, and it's coming home, boys. England's going to win the World Cup. You heard it here first. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of The Purple Show. We'll be back next week for another episode. But before that, drum roll, please. The Blue Podcast is back. The new era of the Blue Podcast. We're going to be in a studio. It's going to be sick. And I hope you guys are looking forward to it. So check us out 4 p.m. next Wednesday. Well, not next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited about the whole thing.
I'm very excited for this, mate.
I'm very excited. It's got some big things in the works. So maybe some guests, stuff like that, which are going to be very exciting. And we're going to have some beers on podcast as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. And me and Tom are going to be in the first two. Ben's unfortunately unavailable to come down, but he will be there soon enough. And yeah, mate, we're in a studio, man. It's sick. Anyway, cheers, guys. I will see you